Hello, I am Nova SC, and about a year ago I uploaded a video showing you a mech build as Terran that was a very simplified version of what most people attempt to achieve with mech, which is just nice strong units early on, playing really safe, taking really safe bases which are really hard to have anything done to, if that makes sense. So the problem with that build is it wasn't particularly refined. It was just designed to be extremely easy to execute and understand, especially for new players. Well, over the past year I've refined it slightly, so I'm going to upload this video just to show you how it can be a lot better than it is in the previous video, basically. The variants that I'm going to show you here are slightly harder to execute, but they're a lot stronger, and I'm also going to include some notes and I'll point it out, I'll talk about it as well. I'll talk about how expansions can be taken earlier to make this build very much more competitive than the previous video. So I do hope you enjoy this. I'm going to show you a few variants and at least one example game. So let's jump in. So I'm going to show you the fancy one first. There would have been a glitch there, unless I've edited this fantastically, because I'm in a Protoss mode and I rallied the wrong SCV. And I got mad. I could have just played it off and gone, ha, that's the thing you shouldn't have done. But no, I was displeased with myself, so I restarted. Perfection, that's what you want. That's what you should be aiming for as well. So I'm going to rally the 12 SCV to build my 13 barracks. Straight after that barracks, going to get the factory, and then a reactor on my barracks, then a refinery in that order because that's the order of importance. Preferably you want it in that order because you want the barracks as fast as possible for those helions, and you want the reactor to finish up just after the factory, and then the gas is sort of not that important just yet. You need that for upgrades and for tanks and things, which isn't in the now. And if it's not in the now, it's not as important, because the now always happens. This is a fantastic way to explain this. The now always happens, but the later doesn't always happen. So the now is more important. So hopefully I execute this nicely. Getting that factory in. Should have enough gas for the reactor mighty soon.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Maintaining that wall. Obviously if Zerglings and things walk up, you're gonna have to send some SCVs to repair. Because we're not getting a Marine, because Marine doesn't really contribute to our build very much. Hotkey our structures like good little boys and girls. Remember to build depots, which I always forget. I always forget depots, but hopefully not this time. Get that guy on there. Alright. We're done. So we're going to pump out 4 to 6 helions, gain some map control, and then poke about. And while we're doing that, we're going to add on 2 more. We're going to add on a factory and an armory. And I was saying this build's fancy, but what's fancy about it? We're actually going to get a starport, and it feels a bit wasteful getting a starport because all I'm going to make out of that starport is actually a what's its name? See, I forgot a depot. I forgot a depot. I mean, I didn't forget it. I just got it like 10 seconds late. But never mind. But yeah, all we're going to get out of the starport is a medevac, which seems a bit wasteful, but it's going to be extremely cost effective because we've got all these helions, all the ones that we aren't using, we can drop and make lots of use out of. Very good stuff. So then we get our second factory and armory while we're making the helions. Don't forget those depots. And these guys should be scouting around killing off guys on watchtowers, preventing pushers with light units from coming, maybe attacking some bases. There's no AI because that would be pointless, but if there were enemies, then we should be attacking them. 6 is probably the most you want to make because the later into the game, helions get less and less useful. Maybe a mine might be useful. Get that. Get a reactor, a tech lag on the factory, and then a starport comes on down. Don't want to rush anything really. You can get this a bit earlier. You can get it like with these two if you want to drop immediately. But often the helions still have use for a while. Gaining some map control can still do some damage. It's only when the helions are sort of useless that we want to start dropping them. And we get a mine, put it in the mineral line just to fend some things off. Engineering bay might be useful here. Get a turret. There could be oracles and things in team games, so you want to be extra careful. Against Zerg, you don't want to put turrets up until about 10 minutes into the game. However, so we can get that one medevac in. With the tech lab we can get Infernal Pre-Igniter, which actually helps our Hellbats out to do a lot of damage versus light units. And now, without an upgrade, we can transform. And now we have a nice defense already. After harassing of all these units, we probably wouldn't have 6, but we have a really good defense here. Just the tanks can be fine to fend off most stored things. And this is an extremely late expansion, but we have upgrades coming. We have a medevac, so we have potential to do harassment, which we will be doing. Put those guys in there. Boost on up. And we have harassment going. We have a nice tech. We have nice tech. We have a tank coming in. We have more Hellbats, expansion, upgrades. Fantastic. Everything's looking nice. If we really messed up and lost the medevac, we could make another one. But otherwise, the starport's just going to sit there for a while. We could make ravens if we need detection. Looking good. And yeah, we're really nicely set up for the mid and late game. So I hope you like this build. I love this build. We'll show you a more simplistic version of it right after this. I'll put timestamps in so you can skip it if you want. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's a lot harder to execute than the build that I uploaded last year, but yeah, it's really cool. I hope you agree. So I'll move into that one right now. So here I am back in Zone Arca Caverns. I skipped the first little bit because, as you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same. 10 depot, 11 refinery, 13 barracks, easy. The only difference here is going to be we're not going to be getting a medevac. This is going to be very similar to last year's build. There's options to get a expansion very early. The emphasis is going to be on just the big army opposed to doing drops and things. But overall it's pretty similar, so it shouldn't be too much of a difference.
Not enough minerals.
And I'm remembering those depots like I should be. Very good. Right, and get in there.
Not enough minerals. Not
Okay,
enough
and the
minerals.
gas is even more important here because I want to go for tanks really fast. Unless we take that expansion, like I said. Look at that.
Upgrade complete.
I want to play around with getting that supply depot now. Yep, I think that was the best choice. Yep, definitely do that from now on. Because before I get it, if I get it a few seconds late, I always get supply blocked. Yeah, that's a good time to get that. There we go. I'm not going to be supply blocked now. Looking good. Okay, so after the first 4, I think I'm going to get a second factory. And also after the 4, if I see with my helions that I'm not going to be attacked and I'm really safe, I could just delay the factory, I could delay the armory and everything else and stop helion production and go for an expansion. Which I like to do, which is a nice thing to do. It makes you feel like you're playing properly. Quote unquote. But this is a fine build. Nothing wrong with this build. Factory coming on in, 2 more helions, just keep pumping them out. There's no reason to stop anymore because we're going to get an armory and we don't really need to save minerals for anything. the army's going to let us transform the helions into hellbats, which is going to be great for our army. I think armory can come in now. I'm pretty sure it can come in now.
Additional supply depots required.
That was only a few seconds supply block. I'm improving. So I got my 6. Should definitely be harassing again like normal. I'm not even going to do that. I already tried that. I already demonstrated the movement of units. Everything's coming nicely. Drop that down. Siege tank in. Did I make a depot? No, now I'm forgetting depots. But yeah, Infernal Per Igniter, Siege tank. I've got a mine for the mineral line, even though it's not really that necessary. Especially if I'm against Zerg, but anyway. Siege tank.
Additional supply depots required.
Upgrade. Might as well get +1. Could get armor. Armor's a pretty good choice because we're going to have big units like tanks and Thors, so armor's better for the bigger units in the battle, whereas attack's better for the little units in the army. So I've got that nice army, lots of hellbats, looking good, and I can go for an expansion right now. Tanks, hellbats, easy, easy. Just upgrades, just 2 things making units. Base come down. Oh. There we go. That's all it is. Really simple. Straight after this, barracks. This thing has gone down. It's nice to save money at this point, but I'm gonna make another tank. Straight after this comes down 2 more factories, and pump out units as fast as possible. We could get a second armory when this is finished, which I will do. I'll demonstrate this, I guess. 16 is the magic number for mining minerals, so I'm just going to rally them down here from now on. Siege tank, very big army. This is an extremely safe expansion to take. Like, it's very difficult for any race really to break through this. Here's my tank. Could get a Thor, why not? Bit of an early Thor, but just playing about here. Drop those things down there. I saved the mules because I don't want this to mine out too fast. And that was just down. Going to get those extra factories. You do this with the other variants as well. Just get up to 4 factories nice and fast, because we want to pump out those units. 2 tech labs, 2 reactors is fine. You could do 3 tech labs and a reactor if you want to be crazy. But yeah, doesn't matter too much. I have a Thor because it's good for anti-air. As you can see, we don't have any actual anti-air, so getting Thors pretty fast is a pretty nice idea. I'm so used to having pylons like everywhere, because you need, as process, you need pylons to power your buildings. You don't get supply blocked as much as they do with Terran. Never mind. And keep pumping up those upgrades. Again, armor's pretty good for Thors, so you could go for the armor here. Now that my base is saturated, I can go for the second armory. Four factories, really big army. I'm liking this, and yeah, that's what I really need to show you there. Obviously, I'm gonna put 2 in each gas or 3 in each gas, and yeah, getting an armory about. I could get an engineering bay about 9 minutes to do. I think this is at 10. Other than that, it's pretty fine. Yeah, so I'll move into a game of me actually trying this. So we have a game, a 3v3 game, because that's where I like to use this build. A game on the Temple of the Preservers, which is one of the oldest 3v3 maps, like I think in the map pool at the moment. It's a pretty good map for this sort of build, a meching sort of build, because very easy to slow push up and reach your opponent. I appear to have some Russians on my team. That's cool. Throw that down there.
Not enough minerals.
That was slightly early on a depot, never mind. Right. As I was saying, yeah, so the brush distance isn't particularly long to get to this base. So you can get tanks and you can push up. It's feasible just like slow pushing the whole way up there. It will take a while, but yeah, it's better than a lot of maps. And you can, and if I went for my fancy variant where I do a bit of hellbat dropping, I could drop here. In fact, I might try that, depending on how much pressure we get put under. Alright, Zerg, Terran, and a random. And my nice responsible ally is scouting. He's scouting, that's good. Ah, who's that? My score. Okay, so it's all races, which is awful. If I wasn't against a race, then I could like change my builds because I don't have to worry about certain stuff that race can throw at me. So if I wasn't against a Protoss, if there were no Protosses, I wouldn't have to worry about Oracles, obviously. I guess at Banshees, similar sort of threats like that I would have to worry about, so. Get my extra depot in, get some gas. I'm playing really slowly and relaxed for some reason. I think it's because it's early in the morning. I'm not even spamming at all. Never mind. Just drop this down so he doesn't get stuck on the wrong side. You cut SCVs at about, what was that, 16? Yeah. So that you can get the Orbital Command straight away. What's that? Lings? That's fine. I'm gonna wait a few seconds to get that reactor.
Our allies are being attacked.
As long as I'm against at least one Zerg, this build's pretty decent. So I have something to throw helions at. Deal some damage. And I can be harassing this Zerg with hellbats as well, which is pretty cool. In fact, I could probably drop helions and do some damage, but that takes a bit of skill. So, and it's like there's more things that could go wrong when you drop helions. With hellbats, you're just guaranteed to get some damage done. Get some guys in there. Just throw down another depot. Get some helions in. Nice. Let's get my extra factory. Gonna be extra safe. That's the emphasis of this build, being absolutely safe against all sorts of aggression from your opponent. Keep those helions coming in. I don't want to get supply box. Very good. And the depot came in, so I didn't really cut SCVs, so that's nice. I hope I'm in the right hotkey profile. 1 second. I'm not. That would explain a few mistakes I've been making. Alright, let's have a little poke on in. What's that? What is that? He's just left some guys there, cool. I'm gonna get a mine. And I'm gonna get some depots. I get alright, he hasn't got anything there. Yep. Okay, no bases, so I'm just gonna try and harass there, I guess. I'll get my armory in. Yep, I've got that coming. Ooh, nice. That's a lot of Zerglings to roast. Good god. This is pretty good. I've got to say, this is pretty good. Wow. 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 Okay. Roasting. I think that's RO for roast. I should get out because he's coming to save him. Let's go. I don't really want to kamikaze those guys in. I would like just to make those into hellbats. But this is that's done a lot of damage. So I'm fairly happy with that. I can expand. I can get my tech in. I'm gonna get a mine in my mineral line because I'm nice and safe that way. And hellbats. siege tank, more hellbats.
Our allies
Rally them down there. Still making things, interestingly enough.
research complete.
Even if those things survived, he would have done like nothing because none of us have expansions. Well, now we do. That's quite a risky looking expansion there.
Additional supply depots required.
6. I'll get another factory now. It's getting pretty good. He's going for Link Stalkers. He doesn't really have enough there, so I'm gonna go try and help. Whilst I'll send a. Oh, well. Yeah, I'll just go. I hope he actually micros like a little bit, because it would be pretty unfortunate if he didn't micro at all. Is he not microing at all? Micro somewhat, a little bit, micro a little bit, just a little bit. Come on, you just have to move your probes away instead of lose. Oh, oh, oh! It was going well. It was. I thought it was going well. This game. Okay.
Upgrade complete.
5 siege tank, more of those guys. So at least I'm doing some damage.
Upgrade complete.
This is a nice little bit of teamwork we've got going here. Nope, these. Ah, never mind. I knew that was coming, but whatever. Right, siege tank, more of these. See. Oh, factory.
Insufficient
Looking good.
gas.
Macro's sort of slipping. I'm not used to microing hellbat drops, so I had to focus on those quite a bit. Oh, have a nice little bit of army here. I'll move up further towards the old
Our allies are being attacked.
the middle ground. Oh, that's going okay, I guess. I would prefer to have not walked into those, but whatever.
Complete.
No, I really want to be on this middle ground so that I can use my tanks more wisely.
Allies are being attacked.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Okay.
Our allies are being attacked.
X.
Not enough energy.
Let's take this gold.
Add-on complete.
Siege tanks. But I'd like some Thors pretty soon, because I have no anti-air. That's always the problem with these sort of builds.
Our allies.
Oh shit, there's a lot. And they're running into tanks. They're running into them tanks. Wah.
Additional supply depots required. Our allies are being attacked. Upgrade. Additional supply depots required.
Let's start leapfrogging forward now. Just push all the way to his base. Oh, they should be hotkeyed. Well, he's pushing forward a bit more than my tank line extends, which doesn't make much sense. Nice.
Our allies are being attacked.
Doing it.
It's heating up out here.
Ooh, shit. Tanks, go. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Our allies are being attacked. Upgrade complete. Our allies are being attacked. Mineral field depleted.
We've pushed them back at least. Extended a bit farther. I get too bored. Alright. So I'm up to 3 bases now. To get some more factories coming on in. No, don't need those.
Our
I do need
allies
those.
are being attacked.
Good.
Our allies are being attacked. Our allies are being attacked.
Come on, extra factories. We need you now. Okay, now I can start pushing in again.
Our allies are being attacked. Add-on complete.
Tanks are pretty good.
Mineral field additional supply depots required.
Affirmative! Give us your best shot! Got no patience for sitting around!
Additional supply add-on complete. Base is under attack.
Got any extra firepower?
Oh no, not units. Is that a link counter attack against all my Hellbats? Oops. Probably should be repairing these.
Mineral field depleted.
Ooh. Probably want the Thors killing those medevacs. Because I have no anti-air other than them.
Additional supply. Our allies are being attacked.
Oop, shit.
Rock and roll! What's it? Huh? Go ahead.
Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots. Our
Two,
allies
three.
are being attacked.
Build here. Got any extra
Additional supply
firepower?
depots required. Upgrade complete. Additional supply depots required. Our allies are being attacked.
So yeah, you can obviously repair your units midway through battles by dropping mules, which is pretty cool.
Mineral field. Additional supply.
I'd like to be able to repair stalkers midway through battles by dropping mules. That'd be pretty cool.
Our allies are being attacked.
Up, ready to go! I'm in deep!
Our
Just need some
allies are being attacked.
minimal macro
Additional
to kill
supply
things.
depots required.
Oops.
It's heating up
To keep
out
things
here.
coming.
Mineral field.
And as you can see, I'm not playing particularly fast. I'm like sort of playing this sort of slowly, and it's going fine. Don't need much micro, and it's yeah, don't need much APM. And that's a pretty good game, apart from quitting. So in that game, I played decently. I just played very slowly, which is all you need to do. You don't need a particularly high APM for this build. You don't need to play really well as well, which is nice. And I was only ranked in top 8 diamonds, I believe, at this point. I obviously could be in Masters if I put more games into it, except I just wasn't. I haven't been focusing on team games, obviously. I've been focusing on 1v1s more. But for the sake of this video, I leveled myself up a decent amount so I could have some competent players to play against. But yes, it's a nice build. It gives you lots of options to harass, and it's a really good build to improve at Mech because there's just so many ways you can deviate from the course, the standard course, which is just expand, expand, and then slow push. You can do some like medevac dropping this on the side, though it can feel a bit costly because you get the medevac at the cost of the starport, and you don't really do much else with the starport. But in the late game, you can make the Ravens with the starport anyway, so it's not a huge deal. And Hellbat drops almost always pay off because they're very good. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that game and you take something away from it. You can clearly see this is much stronger than the build I uploaded last year. So this is more for intermediate players. And yeah, I'll see you later. Goodbye.